Hey everybody, Joe with Bumbling Acres. I hope you all are doing well. For those that do not know, when I am not a homestead warrior, I work in the corporate world. But I find a lot of lessons translate over relatively well. Life has a lot of parallels, and your journey, you can learn a lot from people's journey, regardless of whether it's similar or dissimilar to your own. And I was thinking about today on the way out to my car afterwards, I have a very, very stressful job and a job that has a lot of pressure. And thinking today about, the difference between the two, because they're not the same. And, part of the way we manage life is by managing our stresses and our pressure. And for me, pressure is an external thing where stress is internal. I also think a big difference between pressure and stress is the way that you handle pressure and the way that you handle stress. Pressure being something that is a regular occurrence. It's the expectations that come along with your daily life. The way that this translates to me in the homestead, is every day you've got to feed your animals. Every day you've got to go through and take care of your garden. Every day you've got to go through the maintenance and upkeep of taking care of your homestead. Those are pressures. That's not stress. Those are things that if you do not do, will have negative consequences. But, those are things that you have to allot for. And for me, the difference between pressure and stress is greatly focused on when we talk about the ways that you manage pressure and the way you manage stress. So the way that you manage pressure is by organization. You've got to organize your day. You wake up in the morning, you take care of your animals. You wake up in the morning, you feed them, and you go through your procedures, your processes, your steps by step from one activity to the next activity. That's how you manage your pressure. Where stress, how you handle your stress, is you have to have motivation. You have to have the ability to take steps, because stress comes along. Stress is an external factor that's kind of a break in your routine. The way that we've had to manage the daily steps, setting up our water systems, setting up our food systems, our animal systems, those are all pressures. Where, for example, last 2 weeks ago, we had a really wet beginning of spring. Then we had a drought all through summer. Then we had a nice little downpour in the end and really through fall. I had taken time to get my water systems in place, but I hadn't really set up the daisy chaining them together. So stress comes along when suddenly I've got a ton of water falling on my property. My totes are almost overflowing or starting to overflow, and I've quickly got to find a way to move that water around so it doesn't explode all over my property. Our totes are right on our foundation line, so having a bunch of water around your foundation, not a good thing. So that's stress. Suddenly, rain's coming, and I had to get off my duff and get outside and get the hoses and hook them up and find ways to draw water out of the totes. I had to go to the store and get the PVC pipes and things that I needed in order to connect them all. That was stress. Stress required me take action, so I had to have motivation to take action to deal with my stress. Where pressure requires organization, stress requires step-by-step motivation. And for me, it's important, I think, as we go through that we can recognize what is a stressor and what is a pressure, because that's how we should deal with it. I have bills I have to pay every month. It doesn't, all the motivation to pay my bills on the face of this world will not be adequate if I have not put in the organization to make sure that I have money in my account to pay my bills. Where suddenly I've got an unexpected bill that comes out of where that requires motivation to take steps to organize my finances in a way that make that possible. To me, I think it's an important note for us as homesteaders that we recognize how do we deal with stress and how do we deal with pressure, because you have to deal with both in this life. And as a homesteader, it becomes incredibly important that you manage these wells for the betterment of your family, for the betterment of all the creatures on your homestead, and all the things that you wish to get done. You have to be able to differentiate between stress and pressure. So, it's Joe with Bumlin Acres. Those are my thoughts leaving work, and I'm heading home. I actually can't wait to get home to the homestead. I would rather work 100,000 hours a week at my homestead than 45 to 50 hours a week that I work at work. So I hope this finds you all happy and healthy. I wish blessings upon you all. I wish some blessings for myself. And thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. If this is a good thing for a family or someone to know, this is a message as much to myself and my family as I'm hoping it is to you, and I'm hoping it can reach out and help you. Stress and pressure, learn to recognize them and deal with them in your daily life, in your homestead life, in your family life. So, Joe with Bumlin Acres, signing off.